football season now over, the focus now switches to basketball. And several East Texas teams were greeted this week by a team that traveled halfway around the world to play them. KTRE's Caleb Beames talked to the Perth Wolves, who traveled all the way to East Texas from Australia.
Livingston's annual basketball tournament has an international flair to it this year. Meet the Wolves, a group of high school students all the way from Perth, Australia. They're a club team with ages ranging from 14 to 18, using their summer break to tour America.
It's just all really overwhelming and really amazing experience.
Players say they've seen a lot of stuff on the court, but the most interesting things have happened off the court.
Food, so much. And we saw a squirrel on the side of the road, and we don't have those.
The driving, different sides of the road, we drive the opposite side, so it's been really different, and we always think we're going to crash, but we're not, and yeah, it's getting a bit scary.
They also say the game is a lot faster than what they're used to back home, and the coaching staff also finds it different as well.
The refereeing is a lot more, I'd say, lenient compared to where we come from, where it's very tiggy touchwood. It's I like it here though. I like the physicality. I think they let the game flow a bit more, and there's a lot more hardness in the game.
The Australian players here say it's more than just about getting the W. It's also about advancing the sport in the land down under.
The skill level, it shows us how much we need to develop as players as well, and as a country, I guess, too.
I thought I played with a lot of intensity, but then I've come here and watched the girls play, and they're just they're crazy. They really want that win.
An intensity they hope will travel back home with them. In Livingston, Caleb Beames, KTRE, East Texas News 9.
The Wolves have also played in New York, and they will travel to California and Hawaii before heading back home just in time for school. If you'd like to see them in action, the girls team play again tomorrow at 8 in the morning at Livingston Junior High. We'll be right back. Dallas Cowboys beat the Detroit Lions 24-20 Sunday. No one in Angelina County may have been more excited than Joe Cates. Cates has been given the reputation of being the biggest Dallas fan in Lufkin. KTRE's Caleb Beames talked to Cates about the exciting win and where the team goes from here.
Enter the back room of Joe Cates' home, and you'll find a room full of football history.
You know all the players. Mm-hmm. So it's not far to say that you are Lufkin's biggest Cowboy fan.
I would say so, yes.
Do you take pride in that?
I take pride in it.
Surrounded by his jerseys, banners, and countless autographs, Joe did what he's done for 13 weeks this fall. Watch the Cowboys win. And it's a win he thinks will go down in history as a defining moment for the franchise.
This game will rank when they beat the Eagles and they went to San Francisco.
Stafford is incomplete.
And about that flag that magically disappeared?
And he was face guarding. There is no penalty in NFL on face guarding. Okay? In fact, the tight end, he grabbed Hitchens' face mask.
The win sets up a matchup with another NFC power, the Green Bay Packers. And it's a game that takes longtime fans back in time.
The mercury has dipped to minus 15 degrees.
The Ice Bowl, one of the most iconic games and the point where Cates became a Cowboy fan.
That's where I got hooked, because I cried and cried.
So you cried at the first Ice Bowl with the Packers?
Mm-hmm.
Cates said this matchup shouldn't be as cold, and he's confident in his boys.
Because Rodgers has that leg injury, and it takes 3 weeks for that deal, and he's not fully healthy yet. So we're going to hit him.
Confidence he hopes brings the team a 6th Lombardi trophy. Caleb Beames, KTRE, East Texas News 9.
Cates says this Sunday he'll be watching the game at home like he always does. For more on this story, including his opinion on Lufkin's Des Bryant being part of the Cowboys' new set of triplets, you can head on over to our website, KTRE.com.
Good Friday evening to you, East Texas. We're glad you're with us tonight. We are about 30 minutes away from seeing if the Cinderella slipper fits on the SFA Lumberjacks team. All week, fans have been ready for this game. SFA versus Virginia Commonwealth University in the NCAA tournament in San Diego, California. And longtime Jack fans have been waiting for this for a very long time. East Texas News 9's Caleb Beames talked with some fans about why they say the Jacks are already winners.
Axe and Jacks.
Everywhere you look in Nacogdoches, purple seems to be on the brain. And for longtime Lumberjack fans, that's understandable.
I was here when they weren't winning. You know what I mean? It wasn't about the Lumberjacks. So for it to be all about the Lumberjacks now, it's like,
well, I can remember back whenever you would go to watch the Lady Jacks play, and then whenever the Lady Jacks finished, you'd get up and leave. You wouldn't even watch the Lumberjacks. And now then, for them to do so well and have their own following, it's really exciting.
And even new fans have bought in.
It means a lot because they put in time and put in effort. Like to see like some of the guys grow up.
Saying fans saw this coming would be untrue, which is what makes this year so memorable.
It's been a fun ride, and a lot of my guys have been going to the games, and everyone seems to be supporting the Lumberjacks pretty well.
I was really surprised with a coaching change and losing some key seniors this year. I assumed they were going to be, middle of the pack, something like that.
I'm proud of SFA. I'm proud of our students, our athletes, everybody. It just makes me happy to see that, SFA is getting some recognition that it needs.
They're just great kids, and the coach is such a gentleman, and everybody likes him. He could probably run for president in this town. I know he could.
Longtime Lumberjack fans couldn't be more proud of their team. And win or lose, they say whatever happens past tonight, well, that's just icing on the cake. Reporting from Stephen F. Austin State University, Caleb Beames, KTRE, East Texas News 9.
All right, the SFA Lumberjacks are entering the NCAA tournament for only the second time in program history.
Your East Texas news leader.
Some of the greatest in the game were here today as an East Texas football standout was laid to his final rest. Good evening to you, East Texas. We're glad you're with us on this Friday night. Family and friends of Rodney Thomas filled the high school gym in Groveton to remember the East Texas legend. Thomas was a standout at Groveton, leading the Indians to state football titles in 1989 and 1990. But as East Texas News 9's Caleb Beames learned today, it's not what the 41-year-old football star did on the field he will be remembered for most. It's what he did off the field.
1st and 10, Thomas again. What a move that was!
Rodney Thomas made a name for himself on the field, but friends and family say his biggest impact was made off the field.
Well done, my good and faithful servant, because that's what he said to our brother Rodney.
Which is why it's easy to understand why over 1,000 people would pack the Groveton gym to remember a man that they say was taken too soon. Former Texas A&M coach R.C. Slocum said all week he's received messages from those affected by the running back, including former Aggies and Green Bay Packers head coach Mike Sherman.
Although Rodney Thomas will always be recognized as one of the best players to ever step on Kyle Field, I believe he would do his legacy a disservice if you think of him solely as a great player. His legacy as a son, a brother, a husband, a father, and a friend will last much longer than any of his exploits on the field or the trophies he captured on the football field.
Story after story was read, but the most touching was from his brother, Darrell Williams, who recalled when Rodney put his own money into a vending machine that gave other players free drinks.
See, I would have known not to go and take stuff out of that machine, but Rodney had something else that was inside of him that would make him think that why don't I go and refill that, because they're going to mess up someone else's business. That was Rodney Thomas.
And then a final request from a loving brother.
You share those stories, you make that legend. He is a legend. It's just his body is here. His soul is going on to be with the Lord. But Rodney Thomas touched so many lives that he's going to live on here on earth.
Caleb Beames, KTRE, East Texas News 9.
Well, Thomas died last Thursday, or last Saturday, that is, after suffering a heart attack.
Well, Brandon Belt became an area hero, winning the World Series with the San Francisco Giants. The next big baseball star out of East Texas, well, it could be coming from Hemp Hill. East Tech Sports' Caleb Beames talked with the young star and his coach.
Justin Twine, a three-sport star from Hemp Hill, is still over a year from graduating high school, but he already knows where he's going next.
I just love baseball, and I believe it's my passion, and it's always been my dream to play baseball.
And while most high school kids dream of going straight to the pros, Twine actually had a chance, but TCU made him think differently.
I had a few pro teams come and watch me at the Banditos facility in Tomball, and they showed some interest, but it's made it feel like it's my home away from home. And when I visited a couple times, they showed respect to me, and I showed a lot of respect to them too for what they do.
This will be Coach Justin Adams' second season with Twine, but he knew from day one he had something special.
He has more pop than
than most of the kids that I've been around in the past.
Special enough that both Twine and Adams believe the future is bright for this young athlete.
I think that's every high school kid's dream, is to hopefully make it pro and win a World Series and represent.
As long as he continues to work hard and put in the effort that he does, the sky's really the limit for him.
TCU thinks Twine is good, but how good does Coach Adams think he is? That's a question Coach Adams doesn't want Twine knowing the answer to. Ranking him with some of the other good kids you've coached before, where does he rank?
I'd hate to say that out loud and give him that satisfaction, but he's up there.
Maybe in a few years, Twine will get his answer. In Hemp Hill, Caleb Beames, KTRE, East Texas Sports.
Team USA is moving on in the World Cup, partly due to the leadership of Nacogdoches native Clint Dempsey. Dempsey has people all over the U.S. believing in the Americans' chances, and no one believes in them more than his hometown fans. East Texas News 9's Caleb Beames continues our team coverage where he met some kids hoping to be the next Clint Dempsey.
The match may have not ended the way Nacogdoches soccer fans wanted, but all the talk was about their hometown hero, Clint Dempsey.
Soccer is the biggest sport in the world, and for Clint Dempsey to be from Nacogdoches and to play on the world stage, it says a lot about, our small town and what people here can do.
Future soccer stars at the Bonita Creek Watch Party looked at the U.S. captain as a motivator.
He's so special because he can score in games and he has good attack and he's really fast with the ball and he can shoot.
Down North Street at Flashbacks, fans in attendance know Dempsey carries their town on his shoulders.
He's given a lot back to the community with the Clint Dempsey fields and stuff like that, so it's good to be able to bring our support here locally and get to watch him on the world stage.
He was already setting a good example as he was in school here and in his college career, and to see him go further, it just brings such pride to Nacogdoches and to and hope for our future students and participants in our soccer programs.
Despite the loss, Dempsey is still a hero.
This World Cup is going to end with USA just getting a lot of attention because they played good, and they're really going to become more popular.
I'm happy for the USA even though if they lose.
In Nacogdoches, Caleb Beames, KTRE, East Texas News 9. It's spring practice time, and with kickoff 5 months away, the SFA Jacks are starting to form a team bond. But for the Allen brothers, that bond is already there.
All our life, we started out with Pee Wee football, then went to middle school, then high school. Now we're here.
Jamal and Jabraylin are not just brothers, they're identical twins. And when I say identical, I mean identical. Both 6'1" and both 200 pounds. The only thing different, their positions. Jabraylin a linebacker, Jamal a defensive back. And it's something that's been challenging for many to deal with on the gridiron.
Pretty much same here. Everybody trying to figure us out, but being around everybody, they just picked up on it quick. So it's been challenging sometimes because they get us mixed up and then put us in different positions.
They have been together every day of their lives, and college will be no different since they are roommates.
See them every day.
Is it hard sometimes?
Oh, definitely. He get ugly. So no, it's. I have to say it's better than to have a stranger.
When coming out of high school, these two knew they would go together.
It's a good feeling. I can imagine him not being here with me. It's overwhelming. I mean, not everyone have a twin brother or somebody they can just be with all the time, every day. So, I mean, for him to be beside me it's a blessing.
And these former Lions from Frankston have only one goal when taking the field on Saturdays: respect.
Prove everybody wrong, really. I know we can do it, and we're just out here to prove that.
Reporting from SFA, Caleb Beames, KTRE, East Texas Sports 9. Thanks, Christelle. It's not every day that the NFL sends a film crew out to East Texas, but when you're a top prospect in this year's draft, it happens.
I mean, it's the stuff you never really thought about, but things just went so fast you didn't really have time to grasp.
So fast that you might have missed Lane Johnson grow up from a small quarterback at Groveton High School to one of the top offensive tackles in this year's NFL draft, which is why the NFL Network brought Johnson and his former coach Keith Thomas back together for a special segment.
I wanted to, show them where I came from, kind of my roots and, my upbringing here at Groveton and all the positions I played and kind of, where it all started. So it's a big honor, and then to include some of the people that helped me along the way.
The special will focus on those who inspired draft picks. Johnson had only one choice.
For him to nominate me to come up here and do this with him was just, it's a blessing for me and something I won't never forget.
Those who know Johnson best say that this was not a surprise and feel that he only brings pride to the small community.
This is a very big privilege for Groveton, and it puts Groveton on the map.
It's exciting. I'm excited to walk this path with him and see where it takes us. And
Johnson loves the fame he's getting, but says he always looks to inspire those from Groveton.
And I was a kid, and I didn't have really any offers out of high school, and I just kept working and kept staying hungry and determined. And when you make sacrifices like that and put a lot of dedication into what you want to do, things will pay off.
No matter where he lands next, be it sunny Jacksonville, Florida, freezing Buffalo, New York, or under the bright Broadway lights in New York City, Johnson promises to keep his hometown Groveton close to his heart.
I'm a country boy at heart. I enjoy small towns, and that's where I've been my whole life. So, I'll definitely be in a city now playing, but, during the offseason, I'll plan on coming home.
Christy Rich would lose her hair after being diagnosed with ovarian cancer in January, and her son's basketball team would step up and band together to honor her.
I'm proud of him because you don't know how they're going to react. So I'm proud that he did it for me, but I'm proud that they did it for him and me.
Last Monday, while Rich was driving home from her treatment in Houston, the entire team decided to shave their heads, bringing a response her own son says was emotional.
She's been there backing us up. It means a lot to her seeing us back her up. As in her words, there wasn't a Kleenex left in the car because she was coming home from Indiana that day, and it was just really hit her hard. But it just means a lot knowing that everybody else has her back.
And how do the other seniors feel?
It wasn't hard at all. I mean, Miss Rich has been there throughout my whole life. I grew up with Taylor, and she's always been there supporting us, so it wasn't very hard at all to shave our heads.
Miss Rich, she's like my second mom. She's just an amazing person.
If somebody can make it through cancer, surely a team like us can fight through 2 tough games to make it to playoffs and do it for somebody like this.
And their run for the playoffs continues tonight in Grapeland. The Lions are on the outside looking in, but still have a shot. But no matter the outcome, a bigger lesson has been learned.
There's bigger things than the win on the court. There's life out there. And they've shown that they know that by doing this.
A lesson we could all learn. In Lovelady, Caleb Beames, KTRE, East Texas News 9.